Hello everyone, I'm Shweta Bhajwaj once again with my another video. In my last video, I had discussed some of the concepts of grade 1. In fact, I tried to cover all the grade 1 concepts and I thought like maybe in grade 2 and 3 also the students can apply those concepts and move ahead. As you know, when we are talking about the concept in grade 1, those are the very basic concepts which will be the foundation for the later grades to be studied. So maybe in grade 1 the complexity of the question is little less, in grade 2 the complexity increases, and in grade 3 the same as well, like it may be little more, or in grade 3 we can, and 4 as well, we can expect the application of the concept in the questions. So basically, if the concept is clear with the child, applying those concepts in solving the other equations, it will become very easy, or else we have to go to the basic once again and see. So the videos which were made, it can cater to the needs of the students of grade 2, 3 as well as 4. If in any case the parents or the student is finding it hard to remember and recollect those steps, so you can replay that and get to recollect the steps involved. Similarly, today I thought of taking the concept for grade 8th, 9th and 10th. The same, the complexity of the equations, it may be little more in 9th, it will be very basic in 8th, and it may be little advanced and the application of different concepts together in one question in grade 10. So the topic which I have chosen for the day is quadratic equation. First of all, I will start from the basic equation, which I will just ask you to say, is it a quadratic equation or not? So let's see. I have written my first equation, x squared plus 4x plus 4 is equal to 0. If I ask you the question, is it a quadratic equation? You will say yes. How do we know that? Because any kind of quadratic equation will be in the form of a plus b to the power whole square or a minus b to the power whole square. So these can form, so this one, the equation which I have written corresponds to a plus b to the power whole square. Now there comes 3 thumb rules of a quadratic equation. First thing, if we know that the quadratic equation is already in the form of a perfect square, so in that case finding the value of x becomes very easy. How? That we come to know now. Suppose I have written the expression x squared plus 4x plus 4. If I want to write this, I can write it as x squared plus 2 into 1 into 2 plus 2 whole square. Just a minute, I will just change my pen. So, in that case, if I am saying you this, would you agree to me? I think I'll have to explain you first this before. So in order to understand whether the equation is a perfect square or not, we have 2 tests to be performed. The first test, let's see now how we can go ahead. Test number 1. Test number 1. Test number 1 says the signs between the terms. What are the signs between the terms? There are terms x squared, 4x, 4. The sign between x squared and 4x is positive. The sign between 4x and 4 is also positive. So, the sign between the term should be plus or different. By that I mean to say it can be plus both the places, or else in other quadratic equation it can be minus, but the minus can be just here in the place of the coefficient of x. If both the places minus, it is a problem. It is not a perfect quadratic equation. Because how we can say that? Because in any of the case, when we are saying, suppose I will just take you here, a plus b to the power whole square, as I wrote before, a square plus 2ab plus b square, and a minus b to the power whole square is equal to a square minus 2ab plus b square. So we found like it is plus plus here, but at one place it is different. In this equation, it is both were plus, which proves our first test. And in this place, it is different. One place it is minus, one place it is plus. If both the places I am writing here b squared minus, it cannot be a complete square. And for solving those kind of equation, first we have to convert the equation into a perfect square, then only our process will begin. So let's say this one is done. So this test number 2. The test number 2 says, for understanding whether it's a perfect square or not, the middle term is double the root of first and second term. Now, let's see here. The number is, I am saying 2. A is in x place, we don't have anything. Let's say 1. Multiplied 1 under root also will be 1 only. 4 under root of 4, it becomes 2. So 2 into 1 into 2, it becomes 4. So in that case, here when we are writing when x, it becomes 4x. Am I right? In that case, we can prove yes, it is a perfect square. Or another case, if when these two test fails, first of all, whenever they are giving you any equation and you perform the first test, and if here only it is wrong, you can, after testing the first step only, you can declare it is not a perfect square. And then you go ahead with the test 2, which will solve the purpose for the second step. Maybe like in first step, some of the test will pass, but in second case, it will not pass. Now, I'm going to show you the next 2 things, what are important. Till now, you understand how to identify a perfect square, and then if it is not a perfect square, then how we have to solve a problem, that I did not say. So, factoring an equation in case it is not a perfect square. So, completing the square method and then solving the question, I am going to show you some of the methods. And before saying that, I want to tell you, whenever we are factoring any equation, we have to understand the coefficient of the x square should be 1. This place, it should be just 1. If it is not, we will divide the full concept. Suppose it is 2. We will divide everywhere by 2, 2, 2. Then we will go ahead with the solution. But it should be 1. And then only we can move ahead for factoring. Second thing, the middle equation, it is always the double of this. Suppose this is 4. So we can write in the form of 2 square. So this is double of this. This is 2. Here it is 4. This always holds true when we are converting the equation to a perfect square. Let's take the example of one of the equation in which we will be solving like how we can do a perfect square combination in our next video. My next video I will be just posting which says like if the equation is not in the form of a perfect square. So how we can convert it into a perfect square and then get the solution. First video, being able to identify the perfect square because it saves our labor, like we don't have to move ahead with the second step. Please stay tuned for the second video which I am going to post now. Thank you.